Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and you guys know what time it is. Time for another conditioning workout. And I'm going to make a request of you guys, because most of you know who are regular followers. These same guys have been running a dislike bot forever. And you guys click likes on some of the informative videos, but I'll get thousands of views on these workout clips, and 25 people click like. 25 people click like, and then my 3 guys with the dislike bot will give it hundreds of dislikes. And so if you guys could please click like if you watch these, it would be greatly appreciated. I know every one of you heard that out of the thousands who are going to watch these. So please click it. It doesn't take much effort. I would greatly appreciate it. But today was a conditioning workout, and in keeping with what I said yesterday, I'm not doing any real conditioning that's not on camera right now. And I've scaled it back to just what we're going to see on camera, so I'm not going to stand here and claim that I'm doing Metcon that you guys aren't seeing. And I feel like about 3 15-minute workouts every week, because of my really high volume training and my training loads, this is sufficient for my current training goals, right? It's sufficient. Now, I did have it a little bit higher than this, obviously. I had it a little bit higher, but we don't have to overdo it. It's not necessary, because why do we do Metcon? We do Metcon for conditioning purposes. We do it to increase work capacity. We do it to increase recovery between sets on our main work. We do it for heart health, all these things. This is enough to do what I need to do, and I don't need to break it up, because some of it I was doing more because I was breaking it up into a couple sessions, right, with even short breaks in between. Well, with this, it's like, let me just do it continuous. If I can get 15 minutes of actual Metcon, just continual Metcon with no real breaks, no real downtime, that's enough to get my heart rate up. That's enough to get the conditioning effect that we want to make us better lifters and better athletes. Now, can I go through phases later where I kick this up further? Absolutely. Will I probably go through phases where I kick it up further? Yes, absolutely. Will I have times where I'm going to focus on other stuff like more farmer's carries? Sure. Might even eventually get into sled work and stuff. Sled work's not really feasible for me as easily right now, with my whole lifestyle situation. But eventually, I would like to work some of that in. There'll be a time and place for that. But for me, just all these body weight exercises in this rotation, this is enough to get the training effect that I want. Because the main thing is just being in good shape. The main thing is having good work capacity. And then the additional body composition effects of it. Right, and it keeps us more athletic, it keeps us more fit. But right now, a larger portion of my training, I need to make sure that it's really focused on getting strong. And that strength comes right now for me in the form of really getting my max effort focused, really being able to take my max effort lifts that I do and identify the weak points on them so that I can do a lot more hypertrophy work for those weak points. So body composition and maximum strength are going to take a higher priority for me right now. And in that situation, I just need to do enough Metcon work to be in shape, right? Just to have some conditioning. And people will note those GHRs are a little sloppy right now. And again, it has to do with my shin. Someone asked me, is your shin bleeding there? Yeah, it was bleeding yesterday when I finished. And I had to clean it up and wrap it last night. That's going to be that way for probably a couple more days. So yes, I'm keeping it clean. Yes, I'm wrapping it in sterile gauze. Putting antibiotic ointment and everything on it. So I've been cleaning it out with saline, and then, so that it's clean, and then wrapping it before bed so that overnight it's got like Neosporin over it and it's wrapped, right? I'll need it to heal up as quickly as possible. But yeah, it did break back open yesterday during the glute ham raises. And so we need to be aware of that. That's why it's got to be clean after that. I don't want to get an infection. And for people who say stupid stuff like, oh, just tough it up, who cares about an infection? Yeah, guys, I'm a 40-something-year-old athlete. I'm not playing those silly games. All right, I'm not going to play those silly games just to be tough. I don't need any major infections or anything happening. So yeah, I'm going to keep it clean. Just common sense. It should be just common sense. But why do we do Metcon work? Well, the same reasons I've said before. Potential body recomposition is a big part of it. Increased work capacity, improved conditioning. And that's a point that's got to be made with work capacity. Work capacity is important, and it's not just the cardiovascular end, it's me even doing all the extra stuff, because that's come up too with me doing the 100 chins every day. I've had people say, well, is that giving a real training effect? Sure it is. Now, you could argue that doing a couple sets to failure might be just as good, if not better, for hypertrophy than me cranking out 100 every day spaced out. You could make that argument. But what about all the other effects? What about all the ab training? What about all the grip training? All the other benefits I get from all those chin-ups is going to carry over to my other lifts. Sorry, my boot started coming untied there. Had to retie it. But the point there is that it has a lot of carryover. Chin-ups themselves is an exercise you can do a lot of volume on, and I've discussed that already. And I'm going to keep doing that because I feel like it's going to help me a lot. It handles any real bicep work I may need to worry about. And I care about that. Let's come back over to the point with that. There's a reason I'm going to all the way extended as far as I can extend at the bottom now. Try to get the full range of motion. Why? Well, because I'm going to mess more with mixed grip deadlift again. I know that I need to. The hook grip it's one of those I'm going to have to continue to work on. I'm still nowhere near where I need to be, and I feel like I know going back to messing with some mixed grip will let me pull some heavier weights. It'll let me get back over to my potential on deadlifts. So I need the deadlifts to go up. Just like I need the bench to go up. So I've gone back to what I know works for me, close grip, and now I'm going to keep working triceps. So that all my pressing is going to be close grip. I don't care whether it's chest presses, overhead pressing. I'm built structurally to do better at those. It just is what it is, and I've known that for years and years, and I have to accept that, and you capitalize on what you have. So just more tricep work. I need bigger triceps. I need bigger triceps. But it's the same with my deadlifting. Mess with the mixed grip. And when we come over to the mixed grip, those chin-ups are going to be tremendously important. Number one, they help with grip strength. Number two, people who do lots of lat work, full range of motion lat work, and to some extent bicep work, less chance of bicep tears, right? So we can minimize those things by strengthening all those tendons. And the very high volume chin-ups do strengthen your bicep tendons, all right? We're going to reduce the chances of getting a bicep tear from the deadlifts. So there's a method to my madness with that. There are benefits to the chin-ups beyond just, well, you could probably get just as much hypertrophy. It's not the only point. There's the workload aspect of it, improving your general work capacity, staying active, keeping energy turnover higher, all the grip training. Because I can guarantee you're getting more grip work doing 100 chin-ups every day than trying to do a couple of 2-rep sets to failure to 15. Way more grip training, way more ab training. By doing those chins every day, I'm getting a lot of my ab work, a lot of my grip work, bicep work, everything in. That's cumulative. And it lets me not have to worry about doing extra lat work or any of that during my main training, so that I can focus upon the other stuff. So it brings a lot to the table. There's a lot of reasons to do lots and lots of chin-ups, besides the fact that I can. Do it for no other reason than the fact that I can on top of it, and it works. But the conditioning work here, this is about using resistance-based exercises to keep heart rate elevated and keep breathing up. That's the whole point. That's really all there is to it. That's all there is to it. It's basically doing cardio using rotating resistance exercises. And it's not just about just using the same exercise nonstop. That's why we rotate through a circuit a bit, even though this one's a little dominant on the step-ups. But the step-ups alternate legs. So each leg is getting a short break, and then it gets a break while I do the other exercises. And then come back and do it. This allows us to use our muscle mass in a way that's mildly hypertrophic to work on conditioning, to get our heart rate up, to get our breathing up. And because we're using every muscle in the body to do it, this will help train those muscles for muscular stamina. It will help train those muscles for faster clearing of waste products. And this is, again, the final component. I mean, I've talked about with the sort of conjugate type training of the importance of max strength, of speed strength, of doing a bunch of hypertrophy work. This conditioning stuff, this is the final component to that. This is the final leg. This is the fourth leg of it. Being in shape lets you do more work when you actually train. And at the end of the day, if a person's trying to get as strong as possible, every bit of physical activity that you do needs to have some sort of muscle stimulation benefit. Even if it's mild. Even if it's mild, because the end result is recomposition. Because what matters to a strength athlete? I mean, we could talk about max strength, we could talk about neuromuscular efficiency, and all that stuff is very, very, very important. Body composition. Body composition. You want to have an advantage in any weight class-based strength sport. When skill is equal, the shortest, leanest guy is going to win. So that means you need to be the most stacked person with the best body composition in your weight class, which means in a perfect world, you'll be an inch shorter than everyone else in your class with a hair less body fat than them. Why? Because you'll have more muscle and move the weight a slightly shorter distance. So body composition. Body composition. That's why for me, people are like, well, why are you going to do the 220? I need to grow into my 220. Because in the 198, I'm going to have to compete against guys who are my height and possibly shorter. Right? So that's the way I would look at it. It's the way to look at it. You don't want to compete against guys shorter than you in a strength sport. Now, when weight classes are removed, that goes away. Being 6'5", you're going to be strong as you. Don't let anybody tell you some stupid crap like a tall guy can't lift more. I tell you right now, a guy who's 6'5" is going to get to a 600-pound squat a lot faster than a 5'10" guy is. It'll just be really bad relative to his body weight. He'll get to the bigger number faster. Okay. If he doesn't, he's just basically a pussy who's not training hard. He'll get to the bigger absolute number faster. So when people say stuff like, well, this guy's really strong for his height, well, that means he's short. That's what that means. Tall guy's going to have the potential to have a little more strength. He's got a bigger frame. He can put more muscle on it. Even if he's got to move the weight a longer distance, the extra muscle more than makes up for it. He's got a bigger frame. He can hold more muscle. But we come over to this other point, body composition. Well, if we're going to talk about using conditioning work even to keep energy turnover up, your conditioning work better have a hypertrophic component to it, because a bunch of list cardio does hurt your gains. I know, I've experienced it. It doesn't do it when you're in a calorie surplus. When you're in a deficit, it sure does. So if we want to maximize body composition, this is the sort of cardio we need to do. And if we talk about using conditioning in a way that's going to make us better lifters and make us stronger, the nature of this sort makes our muscles better at clearing waste products from strength training. So back over to the other point we make every time we discuss this. Lets you recover faster between sets. This conditions you to recover faster. You can do more work in a single workout, and it conditions you to recover faster because you shuttle nutrients to the muscles quicker, you clear waste products out quicker, you have a higher work capacity in general. It improves you. Now, this will make strength stall when you first start doing it. But once you normalize it, like let's say you get over to where I'm at, where I said, okay, I'm going to do about 15 minutes 3 times a week. That's it. I'm not going to increase it for a while. Now it doesn't interfere with strength anymore. Now we just maintain a good level of cardiovascular conditioning off of it. There's no need to progress on it. Since I'm not making new adaptations off of it, it just keeps me in shape. You go back to gaining strength faster. Okay? So you guys need to think of your Metcon work in the same way. Anytime you add new Metcon work, you might see the performance hit, or your progression could stall on your other stuff. It's temporary. Once you get this where you want it, and then you normalize it and you keep it constant, instead of saying, okay, now I need to keep increasing this. No, it's fine. It's now where I want it. It will do what I want it to do without increasing it further for now. Go back to making gains, because now we adapt to this. We're not making new adaptations to it. It's just staying constant. We can focus on max strength more. We can focus on hypertrophy more. And that's the name of the game, guys. It's the name of the game. So again, 15 minutes 3 times a week for now. Serves my purposes. Keeps me in shape. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.